Well, hello everyone. It's time for another edition of Tea Time Chat. I know it's been quite a while since we've done any videos, and I haven't really uploaded any music either in a while, but I've been extremely busy. Today we're going for some pumpkin spice kind of a tea. It's also, summer's also just starting, so tea time is going to be somewhat fewer and more far between, but I woke up from my afternoon nap feeling somewhat groggy, so now's a good time. So what's been happening? So there's been a lot going on since last time. I think the last time we chatted, I talked a little bit about the upcoming recital and tried to play a couple of the pieces from the recital. So since then, we've actually had the recital. So let's talk about that. So the recital was interesting, to say the least. It was at a church, one of the local, I think it was a local Presbyterian church, and there were about, I don't know, let's just guess, like 10 or 12 students performing, and it was everything from guitar and singing to Celtic harp and drums and all these kinds of things, piano, whatnot. So I was like either the last or the next to the last student that performed. The teachers performed a little piece each as well. So, but I had been very busy prior to this. So, let's see. So we had the National Hearse and Ambulance Association Southeastern Regional Meet, which was a big big hearse show that was the weekend before, and then I started renovating my house, like the last of the interior. The old washroom and everything was completely torn down and started to be rebuilt at that time. So there was a lot going on, and I didn't get to practice as much as I'd like. And having been out of town the weekend before, it was just really chaotic. And then so when I came back from CERM, I started having like this really bad acid reflux that entire week. So on the day of the recital, I got up and played a little bit in the morning and then had a nap. And when I got up from my nap, for whatever reason, I had like 100-degree fever. I don't think I was sick, really. I don't know if it was something to do with the acid reflux. And of course, I had to get all dressed up. I posted some pictures from it on Facebook. So, I took all kind of Advil and Tums and stuff, and went to the recital and gave it a go. I played everything, more or less perfectly during the little warm-up practice time when I was wandering around in the halls. But during the actual recital, I was sitting there freaking out, like, in the back, and the harp guy came on before me, and he started playing, and it was like, wow, that's so relaxing. And the poor guy had a few train wrecks. Like, he messed up and stopped a few times, and I mean, he sounded really good though. Like, just I forget exactly what he was trying to play, but I mean, when he was playing, like, I mean, he did a good job, but he sounded really, really good. And then so I was next. So I had three pieces that I was going to play, and like everyone else pretty much had one. So I'm not sure exactly how that worked out, but might have to think about that for next time. But so I start off with Irish Washerwoman. I wanted to start on something that was relatively easy to kind of get warmed up, and it went pretty well. No big mess ups there that I can remember. And then so next I launched into Bach Minuet number 2 in G. And that went mostly pretty well. I ended up missing a couple of notes towards the end. Nothing like bad, no train wrecks, just kind of flubbed a note or two. And so that kind of started me in my like mental Titanic sinking mode. But it was good. Like the opening run of that minuet, I've historically had a hard time with, like swinging those eighth notes, and I didn't swing any of those passages. Everything was good. So so my teacher was actually really impressed. It didn't go as perhaps as well as I would have liked, but she was impressed. So I think, whatever. So the last piece I started was Gothic Gavotte. And it went well. Like the first half of it, pretty good. And then they have sort of like, you start on the descending runs at the end. And that's where I started to kind of come unraveled. I don't know what happened. I missed one or two of those kind of badly. And instead of repeating that passage the second time, I kind of just like, oh, all right, let's go. So you have like the first half, and then you have sort of the descending runs part, and then it goes back to the first passage, and you play that kind of all the way through. So I went back to the beginning, and then close to the end of the repeat on the first passage, I messed up again. So I'm kind of like, let's just end this really fast and get out of here. So that's kind of how that went. And it was irritating, like having put so many hours into practicing these pieces and not having been able to just like play it. That was really irritating. But my teacher was really impressed, and that's just the way it goes sometimes, I guess. But so the good news is, at least, after that, I'm done with Suzuki Book 1. And it took like 6 months to get there, but a lot of that was just trying to prepare and perfect those two pieces from Book 1 that I was going to play at the recital. Trying not to swing those eighth notes, and just, trying to get, everything as good as possible for the recital. So I survived it. There were like a couple times during the second piece, during the minuet, I was starting to kind of enjoy what I was doing a little bit, but then it just, after that. So we'll see. I'm sure that I will be forced into doing more recitals in the future. I think there's like a spring recital and a fall recital or something, so we'll see. But anyway, so I was extremely happy for being able to graduate out of Book 1. So in Book 2, I'm working on mostly the chorus from Judas Maccabeus, the first piece, and really I'm focusing on trying to have long, smooth bow strokes. Like, Book 1, there's not a whole lot of that. Most of it's all quicker bowing, and the longer bow strokes you have, the easier it is to sound awful. So that's kind of what I'm focusing on right now, is just trying to stabilize my bowing and make it smooth. And I have also started working on vibrato, trying to learn vibrato, and that's really difficult. I mean, you sit here going like this, and part of it's that whole trying to hammer and saw at the same time kind of a thing. So your left hand has to be able to do sort of the oscillation, and it has to be independent of what you're doing over here. So that's part of why it's hard. And then it's just the vibrato is so different from guitar. On guitar, you're just doing this, essentially twisting your wrist back and forth, and it's really easy. But on violin, you're essentially your whole forearm or your wrist is just like oscillating. And that's kind of a weird movement, especially when you're holding this thing up here under your chin and you're trying to support it and there's no mass there. Like with a guitar or something, I mean, you can clamp down on it, and I mean, it's so much easier to do. But so I'm working on that, and as of today, I'm going to start kind of looking into the second piece in Book 2, Musette, or whatever it is. And we'll go from there. So, like I said, at this point, tomorrow will be the 1st of June, 2015, and I started this whole adventure in November of 2014. So I haven't been playing too long, as you know, but so we're moving forward. Once I can get the smooth bowing down and get the vibrato down, I will feel like I can, play. So at that point, it's just a matter of learning the individual pieces. But so that's pretty much what I have to say. I'm finishing up the renovation. It should be done, hopefully, within the next week and a half. I'm waiting on the cabinets and the countertop to get in. And once I get all that done, once I get the back of the house cleaned up, then I'll have a little more time to devote to music. And I want to do another guitar project. I don't know what that's going to be right now, but I'm sure you'll know when I upload it. Anyway, we're kind of at the 12-minute mark now, and this is kind of a, just kind of a rambling, let's have tea together kind of a thing. So I think we're going to go ahead and end it here, and I will, I'm feeling much more awake now. So I'm going to upload this, and I'm going to start my violin practice for today. So thanks for joining me. Stay tuned. Please give me a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel if you haven't. So thanks, and have a great day.